Hey guys, it's Shadowswam, and we got the League of Legends patch 4.5 notes. League of Legends, yeah, so let's jump right into things, shall we? Hey Summers, it's mid-season. That doesn't mean we'll be making dramatic changes a la the 2014 preseason, but this does mean we can make some larger systematic changes in areas where we could. You'll see this in places like the support item recipe cleanup and the addition of two fundamental support items. Wow. It's been a long day for me, sorry guys. While we're not planning to completely change the landscape, this does not mean that supports will be able to keep pace when purchasing ability power items, and in the future we'll be able to build out more support itemization paths for those who want it. Also included in this patch are two gameplay updates. That's what we're calling them. That's what we're calling them. Rengar and Gragas. Rengar's got some new tools to actually contribute to an ongoing team fight, while Gragas has traded some of his long-range barrel sniping power for scrappy in-your-face scrappy in-your-face brawl and strength. Wow. Our overcharging philosophy behind these two changes were mostly due to their binary gameplay, where both had clear success cases, usually involving the absolute destruction of a single target before they knew it. But when they weren't succeeding, they were rarely allowed to contribute in meaningful ways. You can find out more details by reading below, but our goals were to provide more tools and, generally speaking, more cool things to do in a fight, like belly slams. So as we can see in this patch content, we've got LOL game lobby updates, the team builder, combat text, gameplay updates to Gragas and Rengar, champion changes all around, several champions, some minor bug fixes and changes, some items, some support, itemization, and building paths reworked. We got the seals, runes, and glyphs, and quintessences change in this patch too. We got some mastery changes as well. Got some summoner spell changes, and Summoner's Rift dragons have been changed. So let's go down the list. And if you guys haven't figured it out, this is going to be a pretty lengthy video. So game lobbies in the LOL client. Minor improvements to invite statuses to better document the history of the lobby. When the creator of the game lobby transfers ownership to another player, their status will now change to creator rather than joined. Okay, whatever. Team builder. Captains now see a spinnier animation when friends in the group are still determining their spec. Captains can now invite friends to their group before determining their own spec, and friend invite statuses are now properly updating. So good, changes there. Combat text. Gold gain text is now indicated by gold coin rather than the G symbol, or G letter. And critical strike text is now indicated by a bursty icon rather than the exclamation mark. Okay, not a huge deal there. Gameplay updates. Their little blurb on this. Overall, the Rengar rework set out to accomplish two goals. Add more depth to his gameplay and allow Rengar to contribute meaningfully to team fights as a hunter of weaker targets. Old Rengar's problem was that he was binary in design. He either got ahead and blew up squishies without recourse, or he fell behind and split pushed indefinitely, relying on his stealth for safe escapes. On its own, split pushing isn't an unhealthy strategy, but Rengar could do it with few trade-offs, especially given his split pushing speed. Ultimately, we preserved the more skill-intensive parts of Rengar, like his ability to stalk foes while moving around the fight, and tune down his less interactive power. Final point on Bonetooth Necklace. Now that it's a trinket, it can be positioned as a properly positioned as a core progression item for Rengar, rather than a risky snowball item slot. Tonight we hunt. Okay. So health per level, Rengar went up from 85 to 90. Okay. And ferocity effective healing went from per level to per champion level. Okay. His passive Unseen Predator Stealth, instead of Rengar, becomes visible mid-leap. It's now at the beginning of the leap he becomes visible. For his Q, Savagery, they fixed a bug where the bonus damage from Savagery could crit. The cooldown has been changed from 8, 7.5, 6.5, or 7, 6.5, 6 to 6, 5.5, 5, 4.5, 4 seconds. Damage is now from 150 at max rank to 100, but the AD ratio scales from 1.0 at all ranks to 1.2 at max rank. So it's a better overall synergy. The attack speed buff has been removed. The basic attack buff window is now 3 seconds, and removed the utility that's usable on structures. The empowered Savagery base damage is now up to 235 plus 1.5 of your AD from 150 plus 2.0 of your AD, so double your AD. The attack speed buff went from 100% based on skill level to 50 through 101% based on champion level. Attack speed duration, or buff duration, has remained unchanged. And new attack damage buff, you get 10% extra attack damage for 5 seconds. Not bad. His W, Battle Roar, cooldown has been changed to 12 at all ranks. The damage remains unchanged. The bonus armor and magic resist went from 43 armor and magic resist to 30 armor and magic resist. The bonus armor and magic resist durations up from 3 seconds to 4. And new utility bonus, bonus armor and magic resist increased by 50% per enemy, champion, or large minion or large monster hit to no cap. Pretty much it can almost scale indefinitely, but we all know that's not the case. Empowered Battle Roar, its heal went from 170 being the max plus 0.8 of your AP to 240 being the max plus 0.8% of your AP based on your champion level. So that's pretty good. Maximum heal went from 20 plus 10 times your 10 times your level to 12 plus 4 times your level. That's the minimum. The maximum went from 40 plus 20 times your maximum or 20 times your level to 70 plus 25 times your level. So overall it should be a little stronger. His Ebola Strike, new utility, it's a skill shot instead of a targeted ability. It's now 10-second cooldown at all ranks. The damage has gone from 240 to 250 at max rank with the same scaling. The range has been increased from 575 to 1000. Movement speed slowed now up to 80% cap, and the slow durations remain unchanged. Empowered Ebola Strike, it's now 50 through 340 based on your champion level, plus 0.7 of your AD, and root duration is now up from 1 seconds to 1.75 seconds. And his ultimate, Throw of the Hunt, cooldown has been changed to 120, 95, 70 at respective levels. New utility, Rengar only gains movement speed when moving toward enemy champions. Bonus movement speed has been cut to 15% at all ranks. New utility, after breaking stealth, Rengar gains 25, 35, 45% movement speed for 5 seconds, again depending on Throw of the Hunt's level. New utility, after breaking stealth, Rengar gains 1 ferocity per second for 5 seconds. And new utility, targets are alerted when Rengar is within 1000 range and stealthed, but do not gain vision of him. Okay, I'll take that. Bone Tooth Necklace. It's now a trinket, different versions of Warding Totem, Scrying Orb, and Sweeping Lens trinket lines. It's now free. The trophy gain remains unchanged. You still gain 1 per kill or assist. You no longer have the death penalty of it removing a stack. However, you do not gain the attack damage buff per level. You no longer gain the armor pen at 3 trophies and cooldown reduction. Instead, you get plus 25 movement speed out of combat and in brush. At 6 trophies, it went from plus 25 movement speed to 125 Unseen Predator leap range, and Tier 2 Vision active. The 9 trophy bonus has been removed because it went to, the 6 trophy bonus, pretty much. New 12 trophy bonus, you get an extra 5 seconds to Thrill of the Hunt duration. They removed the 14 trophy bonus, and 20 trophy bonus is new, and it says Thrill of the Hunt movement speed bonus doubled to plus 30% movement speed, and you get a Tier 3 Vision active, such as Warding Totem visions. Warding Totem versions gain greater stealth totem active. I confused it a little bit, sorry. But yeah, that's the changes to Rengar. I like those. Gragas, pretty much their little blurb on this. When we initially designed Gragas, we intended him to be a drunken brawler who jumped into team fights to mess things up. As players began to master him, however, they focused more on his high ability power ratio and potential sniping while relying on Body Slam and Drunken Rage to get away. While we like the support emergent strategies for champions, playing Gragas is like a long-range mage created some very imbalanced situations where either he could one-shot his opponents successful or he couldn't, being a failure, and therefore became more sad than drunk. With this rework, Gragas should deliver on the core fantasy of a tanky drunkard who takes on his foe's belly first. So his magic resist per level went from 0 to 1.25. His movement speed went down from 340 to 330. Okay, not a huge difference. Happy Hour, his passive, went from 2 health over 4 seconds to 4% of your maximum health instantly, and has an 8-second cooldown, so you can no longer keep it up all the time. His Barrel Roll, Q, it's got a movement speed slow of a 50% at max rank for 2 seconds. The cooldowns remain unchanged. Mana cost went from 120 at max rank to 80 at max rank, so 40 mana nerf for it, which is good. The range has been reduced to 850 from 950. Base damage reduced from 285 at max rank to 240. AP ratio went from 0.9 to 0.6. The attack speed slow has been removed. And new utility, damage and slow increased by up to 50% over 2 seconds as the barrel sits out before detonation. So that's good. That kind of means it's like, whose is it? God, it's like somebody else's too that does that. Oh, kind of like Lux's in a way. Like Lux's Lucent Singularity, I believe it is. No, not that. But either way, kind of the same concept. His W, Drunken Rage. Cooldown went from 25 at all ranks to 8, 7.5, 7 seconds, 6.5, 6 seconds at max rank. Mana costs remain unchanged, there's no cost to it. New damage, Gragas' next basic attack deals upwards of 140 damage at max rank, plus 0.3% or 0.3 AP, plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% of the target's maximum health as bonus magic damage. Duration went from 20 seconds to 3 seconds. Damage reductions remain unchanged. New utility, Gragas can now move at 80% movement speed while drinking. Removed the attack damage buff, and removed the mana restore. His E, Body Slam. Cooldown has been changed from 12 at all ranks to a scaling from 16 seconds all the way to 12 at max rank. Mana cost has been reduced from 75 to 50. Base damage has been buffed from 240 max to 280. AP has been buffed on it from 0.5 to 0.6. That's the AP ratio, mind you. The attack damage ratio has been removed. The utility has been, instead of cooldown reduced by 50% on unit collision, to cooldown reduced by 3 seconds on unit collision. Because, hey, that's pretty good still. And crowd control, 35% movement speed slow for 2.5 seconds to a 1 second stun and slight knockback. And his ultimate pretty much almost remained unchanged. The cooldown remained unchanged, the mana cost unchanged. Base damage has been decreased from 450 at max rank to 400. AP's been knocked down as well, the AP ratio that is, from 0.9 to 0.7, and utility, the knockback has been unchanged. As well as the vision granted from it. But that body slam the body slam change is nice. Same thing with that drunken rage. Oof. That's gonna be nasty. Global stat changes. Armor seals have become such a standardized rune that players have learned to play with and around them. These buffs are to compensate for that dependency. Base armor, all champions have gained a +4 armor bonus. Anivia, on champion changes, mind you, her ultimate Glacial Storm utility now deals a tick of damage when cancelled, so that's good. Fiddlesticks, his passive no longer affects champions who cannot see Fiddlesticks. However, if you can see Fiddlesticks, like you have a bush warded, and he goes right over that ward, etc., you still get that debuff. However, this allows him to get ganks better get more efficient ganks rather, if, he's, say, at the tri-bush up at top, or he's on the other side of the wall, tri-bush down at bottom, and he's ulting in on top of the tower, and the enemy doesn't have vision of him, well, they don't get that debuff until he's right on top of them. So that's good. Sets up better ganks for him. Graves, the quick draw amount of cost has been reduced from 50 to 40. The collateral damage, collision bonus attack damage ratio went from 1.4 to 1.5. The explosion damage has gone from 360 max, or it's still actually the same at max, it's just a higher value at the earlier levels. And quick draw now costs 80% less amount to use. Collateral damage explosion is now 80% of the impact damage. So that's good. That is good. Heimerdinger, Apex turret no longer spawns with a beam charge stored, so it can be dropped for an instant line nuke. The H28G evolution turret and Apex turret deal less damage. So the Dinger been whomping a little too hard in early games, so we brought Heimer's overall power level back to a reasonable place while keeping his late game gains. Ugh. Additionally, the upgrade Apex turret changes are meant to emphasize the difference damage now versus maximum damage later between an upgrade Rocket Swarm versus an upgrade Apex turret. So H28G evolution turret now does a maximum of 34 damage with a 0.150 AP ratio. That's up from a 1.20 or 0.125. The beam damage has been reduced to 130 at max rank, and with a 0.55 AP ratio, up from a 0.5. The cooldown has been the beam cooldown been reduced or increased from 12 seconds to 16. The Apex turret, the cannon damage has been reduced to 110 with a 1.3 AP ratio scaling. The beam damage has been reduced to 300 plus 0.7 AP, down from 375 with a 0.8 AP ratio, and beam charge per cannon attack has been increased to 20% at all ranks, and removed the utility that spawns with a beam charge. Okay, I can live with that. Kha'Zix. We love seeing Kha'Zix players adapt to the changes to evolved active camouflage. Unfortunately, the increased duration of Void Assault combined with extremely short cooldown between stealth windows means that Kha'Zix was straight face tanking abilities and turret aggro rather than swiftly moving in and out of fights. These changes let Kha'Zix opponents have a way to respond when the bug is out hunting. So our Void Assault bug fix casting Flash no longer breaks Void Assault stealth, and there's a 1 second cooldown between casts. Okay. And Ultimate Evolved Active Camouflage removed the damage reduction for turrets. So yeah, guys, stop tower diving. Next we got Lee Sin. Even though he was designed to be a high-risk early game champion, Lee Sin can get around making risky plays because of his high mobility and early game base power. We were considering some larger changes to give Lee more early game risks and a way to forward into the end game. But your concern is that we would be heavily altering some of Lee's counterplay or core play patterns, which wasn't our intent. Helped us decide that we should slow our roll. These changes mean that Lee will need to take more risks in mobility, but don't touch his overall power curve. They also give Lee a real reason to play with his teammates rather than imitating wards. To play with his teammates rather than inanimate wards. Sorry guys, English hard right now. So his W safeguard cooldown increased from 9 seconds to 14. It's got a new utility, cooldown reduced by 50% if cast on Lee Sin or an allied champion. The shield duration has been reduced from 5 seconds to 4, and removed the utility. Lee Sin gains a shield of when safeguard is cast on a non-champion unit. Thank you! That's a big nerf to Lee Sin, making it a lot riskier for him. And Iron Will component of his safeguard duration's been reduced from 5 seconds to 4. Not a big deal. Leona. The correct play against Leona in lane is to poke her down to make her engages riskier, but her high defensive stats and health regen were mitigating this a little too much. By reducing the bonus armor/magic resist of Eclipse, Leona is a slightly more viable in-combat target. Plus, if she doesn't get a kill, the combat damage will stick harder. So her base health regen went from 9 per 5 seconds to 7. Okay, not a huge nerf. And her Eclipse bonus armor and magic resist went from 25, 35, 45, 55, 65 to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So pretty good. Not a huge nerf, only 5 per level. That's still not bad. Not bad at all. Leona's still very valuable. Lulu. When we made our 2014 season changes to supports, we wanted to make them feel good about buying AP items. For most supports, we gave them forms and additional utility with smaller gains in damage, but Lulu ended up getting a lot in both categories. We actually liked mid Lulu, but we wanted to make sure that the reasons for choosing her weren't due to her low interaction and high obnoxiousness lane harass pattern, where she can get instant damage with help picks before following up with 2 high-powered guaranteed glitter lances. Choosing Lulu as a solo mage champion over being a dual lane support should come with strategic trade-offs, but many players were choosing her regardless of team composition or enemy matchups. Also, we wanted to hit some of Lulu's high offensive power, but we're also committed to ensuring that she doesn't have a huge impact on support Lulu, who actually comes with a trade-off like a no guaranteed farm or gold generation. So we'll look at ways to help support Lulu if she comes out too weak because of these changes. So help picks her E. Enemy follow duration's been reduced from 6 seconds to 4. It no longer puts a shield on minions. And base damage has been reduced from 80, 130, 180 to 30 to 80 to 80, 110, 140, 170 to 200. So, big nerf right there. Big nerf. But I'm glad that happened too. Misfortune. Misfortune now has a meaningful mid to late game where she can deal more damage and scale harder via impure shots and bullet time from her early lane advantages. In exchange, MF lost some of her lane bully power, reduced double up damage, and lower early game damage from impure shots. So in the past, Misfortune's been seen as the go-to marksman or markswoman with a strong early game presence who transitions into high AoE power. As the landscape of League has changed, however, she's been left in the dust for both strengths. So we want to give her some of her own, or we want to give something of her own to get excited about. So we did need to tune down some of MF's early game bullying. We did so to further highlight the shock and awe factor of bullet time and pure shots. So strut, bonus movement speed now displayed on buff icon. Okay. Double up, cooldown has been reduced from 98765 to 76543 at respective levels. Mana cost reduced from 70, 75, 80, 85, 90 to 43, 46, 49, 50 to 55 at respective levels. First target base damage went from 25, 60, 95, 130, 165 to 20, 35, 50, 65, 80. The first target AD ratio went from 0.75 to 0.85. The second target base damage went from 30, 72, 114, 156, 198 to 40, 70, 100, 130, 160, and the AP or AD ratio went from 0.9 to 1.0. So it's now a 1-to-1 ratio for the second target. And it's still pretty good for the first target, just doesn't hit as hard. Her W in pure shots, mana cost went from 50 at all ranks to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Bonus attack or bonus damage per stack went from 4.8 or 4.6, 10, 12 plus 0.05 AP to 0.06 attack damage .06 attack damage per stack. Okay. The attack speed buff went from 30, 35, 40, 45, 50% at respective levels to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 at respective levels. Grievous wounds duration went from 3 seconds to 2. Okay, not a big deal. Make it rain, her E. Cooldown went from 15 at all ranks to 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 at respective. Movement speed went from 20, 28, 36, 44, 52 to 25, 35, 45, 55, 65 at respective levels. And the vision more closely matches the area of effect. So that's good. Ultimate bullet time. New utility passively increases the stack cap of impure shots to 6, 7, 8. So that's good. Base damage went from 60, 95, 125 per bullet to 50, 75, 125 per bullet. Total base damage went from 520, 760, 1000 to 400, 600, 1000. The AD ratio has been removed. What? And utility, each bullet applies a stack and procs the damage of impure shots, but does not apply the grievous wounds. Okay, so I guess that's okay. It'll still put stacks of, Black Cleaver up on targets though, so that's good. I don't know how I feel about the changes to MF. I'll have to see. Renington, his ultimate, I'm not even going to read their blurb. His ultimate, the base health, or bonus health went from 300, 450, 600 to 200, 400, 800. And magic damage per tick went from 40, 70, 100 to 30, 60, 120. TF, pick a card. The card selection window went from 8 seconds to 6, and card use window went up from 4 seconds to 6. So it's still 12 seconds altogether, just 6 and 6 instead of 8 and 4. Wukong. His Q, Crushing Blow. Armor Shred went from 30% at all ranks to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30% a respective. And his Ultimate Cyclone, AD ratio went from 1.2 per second to a total of 4.8 to 1.1 per second to a total of 4.4 total. So okay, not a huge deal. Ziggs, his attack damage range went from, or his auto attack range went from 575 to 550. No biggie on that. Minor changes and bug fixes. For Ari, Orb of Deceit or of Deception, fix a bug where Orb of Deception wouldn't return if Ari was dead or in stasis. So that's good. Blitzcrank, his Grab, but fixed a bug that prevented Blitzcrank from using Thresh's Lantern while casting Rocket Grab. That bug was good. That made life a lot simpler. Jarvan, his ultimate Cataclysm. The walled area is now centered between Jarvan and his target. Jinx, Super Mega Death Rocket, new bug fix, goes on cooldown when Jinx finishes firing rather than when she begins firing. Okay. New bug fix. If Jinx dies while firing her Super Mega Death Rocket, it will no longer go on cooldown. Thank you. Good bug fixes right there. Malzahar. His passive, Summon Voidling, has a new priority system. Attack the Nether Grasp target. Attack the nearest champion with Malefic Vision. Attack the nearest non-champion with Malefic Vision. Attack the nearest enemy. And attack priorities no longer conflict with each other, causing the Voidling to continuously switch targets. So it should, in theory now, go, okay, is there a target with Nether Grasp on it? Okay, hit that one. Is there a champion with Malefic Vision? That's closest to it. Okay, hit that. If there's no Nether Grasp. If there's no champion that's being ulted or that has Malefic Vision, attack the next closest thing that does have it. And then if there's none of those, none other apply, just attack the nearest thing. So okay, that's good. Little extra bonus damage for Malzahar now. Nami, I almost skipped Nami. For Nami, they updated the recommended items for her. Okay, Pantheon, his passive Aegis protection, now blocks any attack of a siege minion or large monster, even if they don't meet the 40 damage threshold. Thank you! And Talon, his ultimate, Shadow Assault. New utility, Flash no longer breaks Shadow Assault stealth. And bug fix, activating Octane Diplomacy no longer breaks Shadow Assault stealth. Tagging still breaks stealth as normal though. Okay, that's good. Next we have items. Blue trinkets. Scrying Orb level 1. Vision duration went from 1 second to 2. Range went from 1500 to 2500. Scrying Orb at level 9, the auto upgrade. Vision duration went from 1 second to 2 seconds. The range went from 2500 to 3500. And Farsight Orb, the one we gotta pay for, vision duration went up to 2 seconds as well. And range went from 3000 to 4000. So that's good. Spirit of the Elder Lizard, damage amplification versus monsters went from 30% to 20%. So that's good. Feral Flare, it's finally here. So, yeah. It transform upgrades from Wriggle's Lantern after killing 25 large monsters. You get 15 attack damage, 35% attack speed, unique passive Maim, basic attack steal 100 damage, reduced by 67% against champions, and heal 10 health on hit. Kills, assist, and large monster kills increase the damage by 3 and heal by 1. Unique passive, 30% gold from monsters. Unique active, places a stealth ward that reveals the surrounding area for 180 seconds with a 180 second cooldown. And utility, ward cast range greatly increased versus normal ward cast range. So that's good. This is the upgrade from Wriggle's Lantern that everybody's been asking for. Support itemization and build paths. These changes are a mid-season follow-up to our 2014 season changes for supports and support itemization. We noticed that while we succeeded in giving supports more gold, we didn't give them enough itemization paths that paced well with their gold gain. With these new items, this means they can also look at support itemization in the future to offer more interesting choices. So Aether Wisp, it's new. The recipe is Amplifying Tome plus 515 gold. It's for a total of 950. You get 30 AP, you get 5% movement speed. Lichbane has been changed. The recipe is no longer Sheen plus Blasting Wand plus 940 gold. It's now Sheen plus Aether Wisp plus 875 gold. And the total cost has remained unchanged at 3,000. Twin Shadows no longer requires the double Amplifying Tome, no Magic Mantle, and 730 gold to combine. It now requires the Aether Wisp, Fiendish Codex, and 780 gold. Total cost has been increased, however, from 2,000 to 2,400. Removed Crystal Scar and Twisted Tree Line recipe. Okay. AP rate or AP went from 50 to 80. It's got a new cooldown reduction of 10%. You no longer get 40 magic resist. And on Summoner's Rift and Howling Abyss, the active cooldown is 120 seconds. And the active cooldown on Crystal Scar and Twisted Tree Line is 60 seconds. In new utility, if the ghost failed to find a target they attempt to return to the caster, each ghost that successfully returns to the caster reduces the cooldown by 40 of the item by 40 seconds, 20 seconds on Crystal Scar and Twisted Tree Line. Okay, that's pretty good. So that means it would be a total of 80 seconds on Summoner's Rift and Howling Abyss, and 40 seconds on Crystal Scar and Twisted Tree Line. That's pretty good. It's a good, 2/3 of the cooldown. I'm not going to complain about that. Forbidden Idol. This is a new item. The recipe is 2 Fairy Charms, 390 gold for a total cost of 750 gold. You now get 8 mana per 5 with it, and it gives you 10% cooldown reduction. The Morellonomicon. The recipe has been changed from Amplifying Tome plus Fairy Charm plus Fiendish Codex plus 765 gold to Fiendish Codex, Forbidden Idol plus 630 gold. The total cost has remained unchanged. Talisman of Ascension no longer requires Nomad's Medallion and Fairy Charm plus 955 gold. It now requires Nomad's Medallion, Forbidden Idol, 585 gold. Total cost for that has been increased from 2,000 to 2,200. The mana per 5 has been increased to 10, or from 10 to 15. Frost Queen's Flame, the combined cost has been increased from 315 to 515. The total cost has been increased from 2,000 to 2,200, and the AP has been increased from 40 to 50. Face the Mountain, combined cost has been increased from 185 to 385. The total cost is now 2,200, up from 2,000. Health per second has been reduced health per 5 been reduced to from 25 to 20. Again, sorry, English hard. Health has been increased from 375 extra health to 500. Will of the Ancients, the new recipe is now Hextech Revolver, Fiendish Codex, and 480 gold. The cost has been increased from 2,000 to 2,500. You now get 30 more AP, so it went from 50 to 80 AP, and the mana regen component has been removed. Aegis of the Legion. The recipe has been changed to Rejuvenation Bead plus Ruby Crystal plus Negatron Cloak plus 600 gold. Combined cost has been reduced from 1,950 gold to 1,900. The magic resist is now plus 20, or you now get 20 magic resist. The 20 armor component has been removed because you no longer need cloth armor. Locket of the Iron Solari. The new recipe is Kindle Gem plus Aegis of the Legion plus 50 gold. The total cost is now 2,800, up from 2,550. The health bonus is now up from 300 to 400. You now get 20 magic resist with it as well, but you lost that 20 armor. Warden's Mail. The recipe is now Chain Vest plus 280 gold for an unchanged gold cost. So you no longer are bogged down with 2 cloth armor, letting people know, hey, I'm going for Warden's Mail. Glacial Shroud. No longer requires the Sapphire Crystal and Chain Vest. It's now just cloth armor, Sapphire Crystal, and 250 gold. The total cost has been reduced from 1,350 to 950 gold. Armor has been reduced from 45 bonus armor to 20, and mana has been reduced from 300 to 250. Iceborne Gauntlets. Combined cost been increased from 700 gold to 750. Total cost decreased from 3250 to 2900. And the armor has been nerfed by 10, going from 70 to 60. Frozen Heart, the combined cost has been increased to 650 from 550. Total cost has been reduced from 2900 gold to 2600. The armor has been increased from 95 bonus armor to 100 bonus armor, and the attack speed reduction aura is now 15% attack speed, down from 20%. Boot enchantments. Because Home Guard boots are so strong as a defensive item, we realized that we needed to bring the offensive boot enchantments up to parity. Boot enchantments should be an opportunity to personalize your play, so have a few more choices. So the enchantment of clarity for your boots, bonus movement speed has gone from 15 extra movement speed to 20. The enchantment for captain, the gold cost has gone from 750 to 600. Approaching ally movement speed has been changed from 8% to 10%. Distortion. Summoner spell cooldown reduction went from 25% to 20%. Utility increased ghost movement speed to 40%, up from 28%. New utility grants 30% movement speed for 1 second after using Flash. And new utility grants 30% movement speed for 3 seconds after successfully using Teleport. Enchantment Furor. Gold cost reduced from 650 to 475. And Enchantment Home Guard. Fountain Healing went from instant full restore to restores a portion of missing health and mana per second. And Active Delay went from 8 seconds out of combat to 6 seconds out of combat. So that's pretty good. Runes, as usual, like I said, I'm only going to cover tier 3 because that's what's most pertinent to all of us. For seals, Greater Seal of Armor, the per seal went from 1.4 to 1.0. Per 9 seals went from 12.96 to 9.0. And supplementary, base armor of all champions has been increased by 4. Greater Seal of Scaling Armor went from 2.7 per seal to 3 at level 8, or 3.0 armor at level 18, and per 9 seals you now get 27 armor at level 18 if you have all 9 seals. Greater Health Seals went from 5.35 health to 8 health per seal, and per 9 seals it's up to 72 health. And Greater Seal of Scaling Health went from just under 20 health per seal to 24 health per seal at level 18. And per 9 seals went from 175 health to 216 health at level 18. And Greater Seal of Health Regen went from 0.4 health per 5 per seal to 0.56, and per 9 seals went from 3.9 to 5 health per 5. So that's pretty good. Glyphs. Glyph of Scaling cooldown reduction went from 1.0 per glyph at level 18 to 1.67 cooldown per glyph at level 18, and per 9 glyphs you now get, instead of 10% cooldown reduction level 18, it's now 15% if you have all 9 glyphs. Greater Seal of Scaling Magic Resist went from 2.7 to 3.0 per level, or 3.0 at level 18 per glyph, and per 9 glyphs you get 27 magic resist, or 27 bonus at level 18 if you have all 9 Greater Seals of Magic Resist, or Greater Glyphs of Scaling Magic Resist. Greater Glyph of Mana Regeneration. Per glyph it's now 0.33 mana per 5, and per 9 glyphs it's now 3 mana per 5. And Greater Seal of Scaling Mana Regen, it's now 1.2 mana per 5 at level 18, and per 9 it's now 10.8 mana per 5 at level 18. Quintessences. Greater Quintessence of Cooldown Reduction went from 2.5% cooldown reduction per quintessence, making it a 7.5% cooldown reduction when you have all 3 of them as quintessences. Greater Quintessence of Scaling cooldown reduction, it's now 5% per 5% cooldown reduction level 18, and per 3 quintessences it's now 15% cooldown reduction at level 18. Greater quintessence of attack speed. It's now per quintessence 4.5% attack speed, and per 3 it's now 13.5% attack speed. And greater quintessence of lifesteal. It's now 1.5% lifesteal per quintessence, meaning it per 3 to a 4.5% lifesteal. It's supplementary. The offensive mastery feast now restores 3 health on unit kill, up from 2. Speaking of masteries, feast, similar to our armor seal changes, lifesteal quintessences are a fairly standardized rune on certain champions, so we wanted to compensate for the change in specific cases. Health on kill went from 2 to 3. Scavenger, completely unrelated buff here. We noticed that Scavenger's range was smaller than Ancient Coin, occasionally resulting in one granting gold while the other didn't, so we fixed it. The range is now 1100, up from 900. And I believe last but not least, we've got summoner spells. So for Exhaust, we have the attack speed reduction being nerfed from 50% to 30%. The damage debuff went from 30% to 50% damage debuff, or percentage damage reduced, and the range has been increased from 550 to 650. The summoner spell Heal. The cooldown has been reduced from 300 seconds to 240, so instead of 5 minutes, it's now 4. And the heal went from 90 to 345 to 90 to 495, depending on your level. New utility heals all allies in range. It now heals the caster and the allied champion nearest to the caster's cursor, or the most wounded ally if no target is near the cursor. New Crazy removes healing reduction effects on unaffected champions. And new Crazy Awesome, affected champions gain 30% movement speed for 2 seconds. Ignite. Vision, well, you now get vision of targets while they're ignited, however it does not reveal stealth champions. And the reason behind this, partly to compensate for the heal changes, because when you set someone on fire, that should make them real visible. I mean, come on now. And Barrier, the visual's gone from gold to off-white. Summoner's Rift, the dragon change, and this is it, guys. This is the last change. Dragon, in their reasoning behind this, again, in the mid to late game where champions have enough damage, taking the dragon becomes a high value, low risk objective. These changes should help the dragon scale better as a late game objective rather than a quick gold boost. So dragon's damage been nerfed from 145 to 110. New bonus armored magic resist, 13 armor and 5.85% or 5.85 magic resist per level after level 9. New percent current health damage. Dragon Nail deals 5% current health as physical damage per attack, and it gains half a percent per level after level 9. New damage debuff, 20% less, 20% damage. So you now do 20% less damage to Dragon. GG. And remove the attack speed slow. That is it, guys. That was a whole lot of talking on my part. I'm sorry if I probably bored half of you guys. And yeah, that's it. What can I say here? I like the changes to Gragas. I like the changes to Heimerdinger, to Ziggs. They don't really matter. To MF, I want to see how they play out. And yeah, that's really it. Because everything else was kind of minor. Oh, and also Rengar. I'm happy about those changes. But that is it, guys. My name has been Shadowswalm. I am tired. I'm going to bed. Because I got work in the morning. As probably many of you do. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter to find out when I really upload videos, because, hey, YouTube sucks for that. And, yeah, keep being awesome, guys. Hope to see you on the battlefield. And again, as always, my name has been Shadowswalm, and I will talk to you all next time.